What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Game, the show where we talk about gaming news. My name's Seth.
And I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And you may notice our background's a little different. We're in a new studio. There might be a couple problems getting this going, but it'll get better. Stick with us. And yeah, quick reminder to play Until Dawn and Game of Thrones, both offered for free on PlayStation Plus right now. Go get them, play them, come back at the end of the month. We'll be talking about our opinions on them on Plus Club. Let us know yours. And our game of the month is Rainbow Six Siege. We're also playing that. I've been playing it. Frustrating the hell out of me. Playing on realistic. Everybody likes to run in and die, so then I just like run in and fucking die and nothing happens. But the game's great, so you should go get it and play it. And we'll talk about that at the end of the month as well. With that, we have 5 bits of news. So yeah, Chevy, bring it in.
Xbox is, or specifically the Xbox One, is getting game gifting to it. So very soon, no official date yet, you'll be able to buy games for your friends. That's pretty much it. What do you guys think?
This is something that I've been waiting for consoles to do for a while, so this is awesome to hear. Another thing Xbox One is doing good on like the console side of things. Steam has done this for a long time now, and I love it. I think it's a great thing. I've received plenty of gifts. I've given plenty of gifts. And it's just a really good community aspect of something. I mean, on PS4, I've wanted to send people gifts. They don't have that. So you have to like really trust someone, give them your card information, or just don't do it. So yeah, it's awesome. I hope this works well for them, and I hope Sony fucking does the same thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like you said, I've been in the PlayStation Store and been like, I would love to be able to get this for someone, but like you said, you either have to give them your card information or you have to find a code on Amazon or less reputable websites to be able to do that. And it just seems crazy that the consoles are just now getting into this because it seems like such a smart feature. It's just another way for them to bring in revenue. And
it's been around for it's another way for them to make money. So it's really interesting they don't do it.
So I'm glad to see it. I hope Sony and even Nintendo follow suit in this. Though the latter, I think, will be probably the hardest one to convince, but I hope they do it because it just, like I said, it helps more people get games, aka more money.
Mm-hmm. I'm shocked that it took this long for them to jump on this bandwagon. Steam, like we said, have been doing it forever. It just seems so asinine that they haven't done it because they keep talking about how this is the digital age where you don't buy physical copies anymore. So then how the fuck you're supposed to buy gifts for friends who are gamers? You can't buy them digital copies and send it to them until now. And I'm also really shocked that Microsoft did it before Sony. Like really shocked.
I'm actually kind of not.
Yeah,
just
not
because
either.
Microsoft keeps doing things that Sony doesn't do first, but Sony just does what Microsoft doesn't do, and they make games. So,
well, say when it comes down to the console itself and like what the Xbox does, they're really good about that. They, for some reason, that's where their focus is. As for Sony, it's a very clean and neat UI, but I mean, it's really just kind of there to put your games in folders and play some games. It has the media stuff and whatnot, but
it's kind of amazing too because even when the two consoles first came out, Xbox was really, and I still think this, they kind of fell back on one of the things they wanted to do with the always online type shit, which everybody is already always online anyway. But those guys were really trying to make like a future console, and Sony was just trying to make a gaming console, and that's why Sony was successful, is because they just gave people what they wanted, whereas Xbox had a lot of ideas that they wanted to do and get people into it. They just didn't focus enough on the most important thing, which was the games. So and they're still continuing to kind of push the way for consoles, obviously, because like you said, Steam's done this.
Too much change too fast. I mean, a lot of it
freaks people out.
Yeah, you're going to make people very resistant. So
yeah, I think it's better to just make the console and roll out the features. Sony has done it smart and steady this whole time, whereas Xbox has been like, hey, we got this idea. Hey, we got a Twitch competitor, which I still want to check out. It's on there. It looks kind of cool. And I think they're learning that. I feel like there's lessons to be learned from just kind of
the launch.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, overall, it's awesome. Sony needs to do it too. It just makes sense.
It's neat, but it's like, how many games are there for Xbox that people really want?
Well,
like
exclusives.
5 games
Exclusives.
to buy for each other.
I'll say the cross-platform stuff's still all there. Or not cross-platform, but
They're
multi-platform.
finding ways to make money off the games that they have, which isn't very many, so they can make you buy them multiple times now for your friends too. So
hey, no one else plays this online. Please play this with me. I bought it for you.
And all you Xbox fans, I'm also one. Like me and Chevy say a lot. The console's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not trying. Just some fun ribbing at them.
Oh, I'll be playing Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And
buy an Xbox.
and Forza 7, I'm excited for. So, Crackdown though, you fucking, I'm struggling, man. I'm trying. Second bit of news tomorrow. The Tomorrow Children, which is a kind of faux MMO Minecraft meets Marxism type game. It's a weird way to put that. Is going down. The servers are going to be shut down after less than a year of the game being out. This is particularly interesting to me considering I was one of the people who actually bought the game. It went free to play, and essentially they said that if you want to play it now. This is your last chance, and it's pretty much, they said that the whole trying to run an MMO and updating content and attracting new players is essentially a challenge. So
What'd you fucking expect?
fair. I'm going to jump into this just because I actually played the game a little bit and I actually bought the game. This is not surprising to me. I don't think this is a bad game in any way, but I think the idea just wasn't solid. It was a cool idea, but they really should have thought about it a little longer before they released the game. Because when I bought it because it sounded interesting. I was like, this sounds kind of cool. Played a little bit. And it's a neat idea, but there's no reason to want to keep playing. So essentially, for anyone who hasn't played this game, which seems like there's a lot of you, and there's going to be a lot of you because the game's going away. In this game, you make a character, and it has this weird like claymation, like Soviet Russia look to it, which I thought was really neat. You walk around a town. There's multiple towns you can go to, and they're in like this white abyss. And you walk around the town, you can buy houses, you can build stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then a bus will come by and everybody gets on the bus and it drives out to randomly generated islands that only have a certain time limit. Once you go there, you go and collect stuff, communism style, because you bring it back for the greater good. And that helps your town. And you can either settle at that town or find other towns and settle there. It had this cool community aspect to it. I think was kind of neat. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the problem with it, though, is I kept doing that. And I kept doing that. I was like, I need something to be working towards. I don't feel like people were really working together. They was just kind of playing this game and going, well, that's good. We're all kind of benefiting from it. Kind of like communism.
I was going to say.
And yeah, and when I played it too, it was a little broken. There was people building structures over structures so you couldn't access them. And then people were mining to try and get into the buildings. Yeah. So that obviously didn't help too much. I was hoping they'd fix that kind of thing before this happened, but this happened. So as a person who bought the game and enjoyed it, I'm upset to see it going away because I think it was a cool idea that needed focus and fixing. So it sucks that it's going down. This is like the third, fourth game I've ever bought into that failed in less than a year, which is always hard to watch.
I played this after it went free, and I went through the tutorial, I got to the town, and then I just kind of felt lost. Yeah. So that's not a good start. You really have to, like, especially if you're making a persistent world game, get people a tutorial that also allows them to play the game and gets them to the point where they understand what they're doing and stuff like that. Because when you just go, okay, there was the tutorial and now you're in the town, you didn't teach me about the town stuff. You only taught me how to play the character. Oh yeah. So it was I thought that was kind of a flaw as well.
Well, it's already an obscure idea, and then they were very minimal in how they taught you how to play the game. So like this is an interesting idea, but I haven't really played a game like this. And they put you in and you're like, what do I do? Like I'm here, it's cool looking, but
I haven't played this game. It sounds like an interesting concept, but it just sounds like it's been poorly executed. Mm. And I mean, what did you expect, big company, that this is an MMO game? Yeah, it's going to be difficult to keep track of characters and things like that, but it's expected with an MMO.
Or persistent world games generally.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to keep track of at any given point in time. Mm-hmm. A lot. Especially as your player base grows. There's even more stuff to keep track of. So it's unfortunate, like we always say, when a new game like this is going down, especially after a year of being up. But I can't say I'm crying for them. It'd be crocodile tears.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad to see it fail. And like I said, I wanted to see what it would do in the future, but at the same time, a little too obscure of an idea, which sucks to say because I want people to think outside the box and make new ideas. But like you said, not executed well. So hopefully they learn from it. Hopefully they don't, go under from this.
When I hear
doesn't
about
sound
games
like
like this, where you have like the community of random people coming together with all the materials that everybody's gathered, everybody has access to them, I'm assuming, to build things. I just imagine it devolving basically into Rust all over again. Like one person is just like, as soon as you bring something back, they're using all the materials and you're not getting anything, just like communism.
Yeah. Well, nothing too about the game too is like the visual style I liked, but I don't think a whole lot of people would like it. It's pretty grim. It doesn't make you feel good when you play.
Super bleak,
dark and bleak, and every time like a tutorial dude would pop up, he looked like some kind of like Vladimir Putin motherfucker with a big nose, just like bah, 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 just like talking like, and it's just it has a very niche crowd it's going for. It's definitely would never be for everybody.
I kind of. And they probably don't want to invest money in it, but it seems a shame that they can't change it from being a persistent world on their servers to allowing people to just run it from their console and keep the game alive for the people who do want to play it.
Yeah.
So
no, that'd be the best way they could handle it. It doesn't sound like they're going to do that, but yeah, if they can make like private servers for it, anyone who actually did like the game and bought it,
it's a game on PC as well.
I don't know.
I think it is a Sony game. So
yeah.
No, that sucks. I'd love to see them find a way to make it live still, because I'm sure there are people who do enjoy playing it. So
there's no room for communism in 2017, people.
Sorry, tomorrow, children. Do the gulag.
Do the gulag. There have been news.
So Cuphead, the game that is fashioned like a, what would you say, 50s?
Like
30s cartoon.
Steamboat Willie.
Has been confirmed that it is not going to be coming to PlayStation 4. The game is an Xbox exclusive as far as console is concerned, but it will come to PC, and they are working on a Mac version.
What do you think of this, Chris?
I'm upset. I was looking so forward to this game.
You can still play it. It's coming to Steam.
Yeah, it's not the same. This is a game that I would definitely want to play with a controller. And I know you can plug your controllers into Steam.
Your PS4 controller, even.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but hey, Xbox, you get a game finally that I want to play.
Yep.
Congratulations. It's just not exclusive, so too bad.
Yeah, I feel like I'll definitely be buying this for Xbox if that's my options. I don't really like to play platformers on PC. I don't know why. There's no reason that I can think of outside of the atmosphere of sitting at a desk versus just sitting back and being a lazy fuck. But I like that when it comes to these kind of games. And I definitely am picking this up regardless. But it does suck to hear that, because this game is so interesting and unique in the way it looks that this company could definitely benefit from it being on everything. Obviously, the exclusivity rights probably were pretty lucrative, though, for them to stay on here, or it was funded by Microsoft. I'm not sure, but makes sense. Sucks for people on PS4 who were hoping for it. I didn't think it was coming out on there anyway, though, so it's really interesting that people were hoping for that.
I feel like they just got to check, because it says here, Steam, Windows 10 Store, GOG. Then later,
so I mean, it's literally coming out on everything
Mac
except for PS4
and Linux. So
yeah, even it's coming out on GOG and Steam. So
yeah,
Why?
I'll probably buy this on Steam, to be honest. It's just, I'm already at my computer most of the time, anyways. And now that I've rearranged my gaming setup, and my PS4's at my computer station, anyways, it's all my gaming's right there, anyways. So.
I feel like I gotta pick it up for Xbox, because I feel like if I'm not every once in a while reminding the Xbox that it exists, it's gonna like grow its hair out, put it over its face, and put some eyeliner on and start rebelling. So I gotta show it a little bit of attention. So yeah, I'll probably pick up Cuphead on there, because
that rebellious teenage angst of the Xbox.
It's just gonna be an Xbox One just going like, you don't fucking understand me, man. You don't play anything on me.
You're not my real dad.
Maybe if you get up and go out and fucking get some games for you. I can't fucking. We're all born a certain way, man. Can't change who I am. Yeah. So, any last words on old Mughead?
I think the game's gorgeous, and I still plan on picking it up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I hope you have cross-platform playability.
Is there multiplayer?
Yeah, it's 2-player.
Ooh! You just come over and play with me then.
Good.
Dog. Third bit news. Super Mario Odyssey doesn't have a game over screen. There's no lives. There's no game over. There's coins that you lose, a la Sonic. And yeah, it's pretty basic after that. They just say that you'll never see a game over screen. You're just going to keep playing. There's going to be a checkpoint system. So when you die, you just go back to that checkpoint. They say they're not going to be too far away. What do you guys think about... and a lot of people are actually kind of upset about this. I keep reading all over the place. People are really upset about it. So what do you guys think about no game overs, checkpoint system, coins?
I feel like the only people who are upset about this are people who play Mario in the aspect of like speed runs and stuff like that.
Or like the challenge of platforming and shit.
Yeah, I actually think this is great. It streamlines, Mario. You can just play. There's no like stopping, waiting for it to reload or whatever. You just keep going. As someone who plays Mario to just kind of experience, the game itself, and I'm not really playing Mario to be like super challenged. I'm playing it because I think it's fun, and I think it fits that MO.
Well, that's Nintendo's MO as well too, with making games accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know. I don't see, besides obviously people who, like we had already brought up, why you'd be upset about this at all. So,
where's the challenge? Where's the risk and reward then? Why play at all? I mean, I get it could be a fun, interesting story. It could be neat, but then there's no real dilemma. There's no real challenge to playing a game, which is, I think a good chunk of why people play games is to challenge themselves. And even Mario, like Mario 3 is challenging. You lose lives in that too, but it's absurd that there's no like, even just make this like a difficulty setting where it's like easy mode where you don't die. You just go back to your last checkpoint. I don't want to play a game where there's no risk.
It is kind of doing that already. You just don't get the screen. It's not going to load to a game over screen and make you reload into it. You're literally going to fail and then go back to a checkpoint. So you're actually just cutting a process out.
I'm going to cut in the middle of you guys because that's where I stand on this. I don't actually care too much about the game over screen just because what they're doing is they're doing what Call of Duty did essentially, and they're making you not have to wait. You just get right back in after you get killed, and it's just chaos and fucking. But you're still in the game constantly. This is doing the same thing. It's essentially you're gonna die. You're gonna have to go back to a checkpoint. You're gonna have to go again, but you're not gonna have to wait. That's pretty much all they're taking out of it. Now there is something in your brain though when you have 3 lives left, and you have to restart the whole level. That makes you go, okay, I need to play a little more careful. This will allow people to be a little more sloppy with it and just kind of run forward, which is fine. I mean, I also play Mario just for the fun of it. I do miss the challenge of the old ones, but the newer ones don't really have that as much anymore. They're just more like fun, play with your friends games. So I'm mixed on it. I don't think it's going to hurt it at all, and I don't think it's actually going to change my experience with the game too much, but I do think it is going to take away from that stress of like, I only have 2 lives left. Oh, fuck, I fucked up. I got 1 life left. I better, because you still have to restart from a longer checkpoint of restarting the level again. But, so it's a small difference, but the mental note of like, I could beat this. I have that 1 life left. And then you do it and you're like, yes. It's not a huge challenge, but it's still there. And it feels a little more accomplishing. So this is streamlining in a way that I think will benefit everybody. It'll still be fun, but it's going to take away from that platformer feel of trying to get through a map.
I have a solution. Play Super Meat Boy instead.
That's a big different solution.
Well, I mean, if you're playing Mario for challenge, play Super Meat Boy. There's your challenge.
Older Marios.
And I know Team Meat's working on a game right now, so
yeah.
I just have this weird association for games that if you don't have some sort of like penalty, like hard penalty, I guess it's a hard penalty. It's not a hard penalty, but of like the loss of lives in a game over, I just equate it to children's game.
Well, I equate most Nintendo games to children's games anyway, but that's just a personal thing.
I mean, I watched the kids I nanny for play Disney Infinity. There's no lives in there. You just go back to the checkpoint. It's just like, this is what's the point? They just run around and go back. Run around, go back. I mean, I don't know. It's really apples and oranges in the end, but
for sure. And for me, I appreciate what you're talking about as well. For certain types of games, certain other games, I don't care about so much. Like any game that you're just accruing like a score or experience in, I'm not playing for a challenge. Or even sadly, tower defenses, which is one of my favorite smaller genres of games. those aren't really challenging for me anymore, but I still love playing them just because I like knowing that my strategy is that good. It's an ego thing.
Yeah.
But like I'll set up my thing and I'll put it on fucking the fastest fast forward it has in the game. If a tower defense is not a fast forward, I ain't playing it. Fuck that. I don't have time for that. I'll put on the fastest thing, and every once in a while I'll look over and I'm like, I should probably, okay, there we go. And just let it go.
So I just thought of a solution, I think, that would work instead of naming it easy mode, because people get like really up in a tiff about that. You can just say that this is, I don't know what, the standard mode, and then you can put classic mode where you have lives and game over screens. And I think everybody would be happy with that.
Sure. Yeah, I know if they did that, I can't see how you'd be able to complain.
Yeah.
But or do some adaptive stuff like GameCube did, where if you like lose too much, it can offer you like, hey, do you want to play fucking fun mode?
Yeah.
But yeah, I without anybody actually playing it, I think it's really hard to even tell because we're only hearing the idea, but we're not doing it in practice. You might play and not even fucking think about it, just because the game's so fun. So
And the game can still offer a challenge without having game overs. I mean, you could literally just go from checkpoint, trying to get to the end, and you're like, not doing it. You're still going to get frustrated. You're still going to have that stress of trying to progress. So.
It's literally what Trials does.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't think...
And it opens the door, sorry to cut you off, but also opens the door for speedrunners too, because maybe I'm thinking about Trials. When I do Trials, you can play and you'll crash and you hit a checkpoint, you can go back to it. I always, as soon as I fail once, I restart the whole thing.
Yeah.
I press pause and go back to the beginning because I don't want that checkpoint because it's going to fuck up my score.
You want that gold
So you're
medal.
going to have people who are going to probably do the exact same thing in this game. They're like, well, I fucked up. I want to do this as quick as I can. That checkpoint sent me back. I'm going to restart. So it's going to evolve how people play it, I think.
Yeah.
Time will tell. We're going to find out when that fun-ass game comes out with no game overs. Last bit of news.
So, an ex-Street Fighter dev is working on, as they say, a deceptively simple 2D fighting game for PS4 and PC. It seems like they have a Patreon, and it's called Fantasy Strike. They're essentially trying to go back to the roots of just like really... simple, think like Street Fighter 2, like fighting game, but they want it to be accessible. The example they give is in most modern fighting games, your move reactions are like 1/60th of a second, and they want to make it more like 8/60ths or what
Math.
2/15ths, if that's better for you. So a little more lenience on your input to action in the game versus it being, a hair trigger. What do you guys think?
This is not my type of fighting game. I'm not really a big 2D fighting game guy anymore. I like Guilty Gear, and that's about it, and Blaze Blue. But it's cool to see. First off, there's a new game coming out. That's awesome. Accessible fighting games, though, I'm not a big fan of, and I get the point of them, but I don't think they can offer themselves to what the core audience who plays these games want, which is competition. There's a couple fighting games out there where like it's really easy to execute moves. There's some games out there where you can just press a button and do moves, like just one, and they're fun to play for a split second, but you don't see people getting really hardcore into those because, again, I think the challenge aspect of it is what people thrive for. They want those like heavy combos and crazy things to do where it can really kind of differentiate how a match can go. Even if someone has this much life versus this much life, they can do something crazy and maybe get through that. And I don't know if this will offer that, but when I hear that they want it to be like simplified for everybody, I get where they're coming from. I don't think it's going to work all too well, just out of what I've seen. But yeah, it's cool. It looks kind of generic, the game, but yeah.
That guy's just doing a cartwheel in midair.
We need more fighting games though.
So I like the idea of essentially. As another way they worded it, they want to emphasize player decisions over dexterity. I think it's a neat idea. I think it's going to be a challenge, though, to make it a long-term game, though, for people. Kind of like you said, people play fighting games for a very specific reason. I am a little weird in that regard, as I don't play fighting games for competition. I usually play them for, in the case of like Mortal Kombat and Injustice, they have really good story modes, and Mortal Kombat has a crap ton of unlocks, which that works for me. And in the case of Guilty Gear, I just think the game's fun to play. Everything about Guilty Gear, I don't even care if I'm losing. I'm just having fun, just like playing it. The characters have so much, character to them, and uniqueness to that game. BlazBlue's difficult for me because it's one of those games where you can flick the stick and do a super. That's that convenience thing, and it really throws me off.
Well, that's the thing. That's exactly my point. Is I like both those games. I do like BlazBlue, but it is simplified, so I do always gravitate back to Guilty Gear.
Yeah,
because Guilty Gear feels like a more full-fledged, really harnessed, pedigreed fighting game that has its system so locked in that you don't it's just perfect the way it is. That's Guilty Gear. Whereas BlazBlue feels like Guilty Gear, but it's also kind of easy to play too. So it's almost like they tried to rework a easier version of Guilty Gear for people.
This just seems like the episode where they're just taking games and making everything easier, and I don't overall like it. I mean, I get it. Trying to make
challenge.
I want that challenge. I get it. It's overall trying to make it, like I said, more accessible to everybody else. But it's like we've been saying, it's not gonna last long because again, everybody wants a challenge. Everybody wants competition. Just no.
It's a very anti-communism episode of Taste Tuesday today.
Yes, it is.
Everybody wants competition. Everybody wants to sell the best ice cream, make the most money.
And again, an easy way to solve this for everybody is to make a mode where it's just like assisted mode and standard mode, where it's more like a competitive, like Guilty Gear, or like the new Tekken. Like Tekken's fucking complex as hell.
Oh yeah.
But
I don't think you get a whole lot more technical than that.
Yeah. But I get it. It's a 2D fighter, so you can't really implement sidestepping. But you can still implement different modes for people to be like, assisted mode and standard mode.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious about like what it's going to offer then as a fighting. If you make a fighting game, anyone can make a game where two people get to hit each other. You have to have something. You have to have a niche fighting game that makes it different. Because a fighting game, it seems like, I've never made one, but it seems like it's a pretty straightforward premise, and it's kind of, and I've said this for a while, kind of an outdated premise. People like playing fighting games, but if you're gonna bring a new one in, you gotta evolve it, or you gotta do something new or different. Mortal Kombat had to reinvent itself, and they did it great.
Amazing.
Guilty Gear is a 2D fighting game, just like Street Fighter, except for it's way more kinetic, fast-paced, and crazy. Street Fighter is a tactical 2D fighter with a lot of emphasis on combos and moves, and then you have all the 3D fighters like Soul Calibur, which is a positional-based weapon fighter.
Yep.
Tekken is a positional-based
melee
fucking left fist, right fist, left leg, right leg hitbox porn game. Yeah. I mean, like, you gotta really fucking have your identity. Mm-hmm. And so when I see this game, I see just another game that's trying to be like Street Fighter, and the guy comes from Street Fighter.
He's doing the Shoryuken, the super Shoryuken, where he punches you once and then pitches the other arm and goes up.
Yeah, and it really just looks to me like a generic 2D fighter that is I mean, their niche, their thing, their special thing they're going for is to be easy and accessible, which, that's all good and great, but the fighting game market is already a niche crowd.
Yeah.
It's not like FPSs where everybody plays them, or, fucking MMOs. It's fighting games. People play fighting games for a specific reason, and if you're trying to get in new people who don't play fighting games, they're probably not even going to look at your game or play it. Mm-hmm. They're already going to look past it because they don't play fighting games.
Well, I think a good example of a fighting game that came out that did crowdfunding, and then kind of went through a huge process just to keep their game available for sale and everything was Skullgirls. The big thing that game sells to you, though, that I think Guilty Gear also is part of its sales is it's the characters in this regard. Like, you have just really unique, interesting characters, but otherwise Skullgirls is Street Fighter.
It's pretty generic.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
it's all visual style, and I think the success of Skullgirls was it came out when fighting games were kind of dead.
Yep.
I mean, they're just now coming back, which is awesome. But there's a time there where there's only Street Fighter coming out, and every once in a while, like Guilty Gear, and there was no fighting games. I mean, like, fucking Soul Calibur's been gone for a while. 5 wasn't that great, and Tekken comes out when it comes out. So when Skullgirls came out, it was like, hey, there's no fighting games, we're making one, and I think that's why it did so well. And it's a cool game, but its identities, its visual style, not the gameplay. Final thoughts? Any words of wisdom?
I honestly hope that when I see more on this game, that it does have something that screams, there's room for me in this market. Otherwise, I mean, for the Patreon people, you're getting the game you're paying for, and hopefully you enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I kind of said a little naysaying stuff, but I hope it does well, and I hope it's awesome. I hope I play. I'm like, oh, I was completely wrong, but
For sure.
it's just not looking the part.
Just take notes from Guilty Gear. They have standard mode and technical mode.
Yeah, everybody take notes from Guilty Gear because it's a dope ass game.
It's also like in the top 5 fighting games in Japan. I think 2 of the Guilty Gears are in there. So
Really?
yeah.
It's love Guilty Gear. I'm not, like I said, not a big 2D fighter, but I love Guilty Gear. It's the one I still have room for. Otherwise, it's Soul Calibur and Tekken, and I like Mortal Kombat. But yeah, let us know in the comments. What is your opinion on what is it called?
Fantasy Strike.
Fantasy Strike. Man, that's a very blasé name. Let us know. Does that sound awesome? Do you want a fighting game that's a little more simplified, just so you can have fun with it? Do you like fighting games for the technical aspects of them? Let us know. But that's going to do it for this episode of Taste Tuesday on Tastefully Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr and Twitter, Tastefully Gaming. I'm going really fucking fast. Check out the streams on the channel. I'm going to be doing Until Dawn soon. I kind of want to do my progression through the game through the stream, so I'll start at the beginning of the game in the stream and move on. If you missed that, it's uploaded, so make sure to check that out. Check Chris out on Twitch, tasty_fruit. And I think I nailed it all. So, as always, thanks for watching, guys. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
Prevent Mendes Vut Christoph.
And
All right.
Special episode coming out Wednesday. Make sure to watch that. It's going to be really fun. Somebody's actually replacing me on the show, so I'm going away. See you later. Until Friday, have a good week, guys, and take it easy.
Dos Vidanias.
До свидания.